Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our daily get-together live here on Facebook every single day of the week at 10:30 in the morning. And what do we do here? We get together, we exchange news, headlines, stories, questions, comments, and suggestions, and all kinds of inspiring ideas to have a great time living here in Puerto Vallarta as a local community of English speakers. It is always a pleasure to get together with everyone that joins us. And if this is your first time, couple of things. Number one, my name is Paco, and you can let us know that you're new by writing the word new in your comment, and we will be so very happy to welcome you to the program. And also, if you're new today, please know that today is Sunday, and Sunday is a news-free day here at Coffee and Headlines. In fact, the more juvenile, the more irreverent, the more silly we can be on a Sunday fun day, the better. So if you come in here today and you're shocked because today we're going to be talking about dirty-minded things, and if you're offended, well, hopefully you won't be, But if you are, come back on Monday. Come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, from Monday to Saturday, we have all kinds of lovely, civilized, well-behaved news, and then there's Sunday, and this is exactly what is going to happen here. Who is Cluster, says William. Cluster is all of us. All of us. We are a cluster. And this is something that, somebody came up with at some point, decided to call us all cluster. Let me move my camera a little bit. Let me say hello to everybody that's joining us today. Let's see who's here. Let's see. Mike is always here from Chicago. It's always great to see you. Kelly is back in Colorado. Hello, Kelly. And let's see what else. Oh, my cousin Norma is watching from the outskirts of Chicago. I love you, baby. Vamos a ver quién más. Oh, I switched to Spanish and I'm not even thinking. I love it. Chile Sunday. Indeed, yes. Today is going to be a very peppery broadcast, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Let's see what else. Here from Colorado, ready for today's Spanish lessons. Yes, we're going to have at least one great Spanish expression today that is very apropos to what we are going to be talking about. So let's see who else is here. Missed a live show yesterday. We had a water issue. Nothing serious, I hope. Lovely. Insanity Sunday. Why not? Absolutely. Let's see what else. Ooh, Paul is back in Boston. It's great to see you today, Paul. Okay, I don't see any newbies, and if you're new and your mind is dirty, then perhaps you're being quiet about it, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so today we've been talking about seeing penises all week long. And today we are coming clean, no pun intended, coming clean. Oh my God. See, my mind is in the gutter. My mind lives in the gutter, in case you hadn't noticed. But today we are going to dive deeper into this business of the mind in the gutter. If you don't have a mind in the gutter today, then you probably should not be here, because today is a gutter-minded show. Let us start with a little bit of what I mean by that. We go through life and we're caring about life in the most civilized way, and then all of a sudden we see things that remind us of something else. Where does this happen? Well, it happens everywhere. It happens on the television. Let me play you a quick supercut of something that I put together this morning that happens when people tell the weather forecast. And while this is playing, I'm going to run into my bedroom and I'm going to go get something that I forgot to bring because today we're doing a little bit of show and tell. Pay no mind to the little circle, pay mind to the big people on the screen. Boom.
It was hot. Now we have John. Now this is a tropical storm, and you say, Dan, why are you showing me this? Because John's going to move north.
We have a long, a hot and sticky situation, a long stretch of showers.
Hey.
But watch where the precipitation will go. Some of it will head up towards the west.
This stretch right here, all of this long stretch of hot and sticky of bad weather.
A water spout yesterday. Quite an amazing thing, to be fair, pushing it over the top of the country. Is when you take a step back, is there anything else you see in this picture?
Andy, this right here is a map of downtown Saginaw, and this construction is happening along North Michigan, starting at Houghton Avenue and going all the way to State Avenue. Drivers are down to the single lane in each direction.
It's about as subtle as a sledgehammer, mate. I mean, why did you just... Oh.
There's no coming back from that, guys.
So you see, these things happen. There are penises everywhere. And there are things that look like penis, or maybe things that remind us of things that look like penis. And, what's going on here? Are you dirty-minded? If you're dirty-minded, then you need to know that today we're going to hold your hand through the whole dirty-minded adventure of the day. So the first thing you need to know is how to say dirty-minded in Spanish. I think this is pretty important. And because that's what we're talking about today, I'm going to show you that the phrase for mind in the gutter in Spanish is mente cochambrosa. Mente obviously means mind. And cochambrosa comes from the word cochambre, which is all this stuff that you see on, that accumulates on your stove when you are cooking. That is what cochambre is. So needless to say, it takes a dirty mind to appreciate that this is not what it looks like. This is a tequila shot, actually. Check it out. It's a tequila shot that I purchased from a lovely man that makes Aztec replicas. And it's just a shot glass. You just drink your tequila. I don't know what you see when you look at this, but this is just a tequila shot. I'm not going to tell you if I use it or not, or if I've drank from it or not, because that's irrelevant. It's not what we're here to discuss. Now, we're talking about dirty mind, and of course, why we're talking about this is because we were doing photographs of. Oh, hold on. Let me pause this. Hold on. We're not ready for that yet. Anyhow, we started talking about this because how did we get started on this? Well, we ended up deciding halfway through the week that I had to go to La Leche and photograph the facade. And here's the story behind the facade of La Leche. La Leche is a local restaurant, as you know. It was remodeled some years ago, many years ago, actually, and they painted the whole facade white. And ever since that facade was built and was painted, hand decorated, I used to see penises on the artwork of the restaurant. And of course, for many years, I couldn't do anything about it because I used to work for a magazine where the restaurant was an advertiser. So imagine the editor of the magazine saying, thank you for your patronage. Your ad looks great on the magazine. And those are lovely penises on your wall. So that would not have gone over very well. But that is the beauty of having a self-publishing platform like this one, where I don't have to respond. We don't have to respond to any advertisers and so forth and so on. So now, after many years, we can discuss this business of what's going on in the facade of La Leche, where I see penises. I see penises. And I want to know if you see penises too. Maybe I'm just the only one that is really obsessed about this, but I certainly doubt it. And I'm going to tell you why. If you were to venture into Instagram, for example, and you search for the hashtag for I see penis, there it is, you'll find a lovely accumulation of either deliberate or accidental formations that happen naturally or unnaturally that kind of look like penises. I mean, we're surrounded either by things that look like penises, or maybe we are being invaded by dirty-minded people, by people with mente cochambrosa. I don't know what it is, but if you ever want to be amused, you can go into Instagram and take a look at all these photographs of things that look like penises. As long as we're talking about this, maybe I should make reference to another important Spanish phrase. And you know what? Let me put it up on the screen right now, because this may be relevant to some, may be relevant to none. But let me type this because you want to learn this one. El que tiene hambre en pan piensa. Okay, so this is another interesting phrase for you to know. El que tiene hambre en pan piensa. We always say this in Spanish. And in Spanish, what this means is he or she who's hungry thinks about food. So don't think that's a disclaimer actually, because if we're talking a lot about penises today, don't think for a second that this means that I'm hungry for one. Of course not. I would never be hungry for penis. Why on earth would I be hungry for one? Anyhow, so we are here in the mind in the gutter scene, and what I want to show you is what happened yesterday right after the broadcast. Right after the broadcast, as I promised, I armed myself with my camera and I walked over to La Leche so that I could photograph the facade so that we could discuss it here together, you and I, to see whether there are penises on La Leche's facade or not. Let's take a look at what transpired. Okay, so this is called From the Corner of My House to La Leche Non-Stop. Let's go. Okay. 20 minutes later, I am standing with La Leche behind me, so I'm going to switch cameras and we are going to capture what we came here looking for. See you in a bit. Okay, in case you're wondering what just happened, this is what happened. I started at my house and I walked all the way down Milan Street through Versalles, and then moved on to Colonia Díaz Ordaz. Here's Versalles, here's Colonia Díaz Ordaz, there's Plaza Caracol, and there is La Leche. So it's a nice thing to live where we live because we're so connected to everything, you know. And here's my humble casita, and there's Costco, and so all these beautiful restaurants that we've been looking at that are all over Versalles. So now you see why everything is so close to my humble casita, and this is why I have been having such a great time talking about the restaurant scene here in my neighborhood. So now let's take a look at what actually goes on at the restaurant. So before we get started on the restaurant itself, you know, this is what is actually going on Medina Asensio. As you know, the whole laterals of the avenue are being rebuilt, and they are being rebuilt because they're going to have wider lanes. I don't know how they make them wider, or maybe they're narrower because now they're even going to include a bicycle lane. So did I have my cock shirt on the walk to La Leche? I didn't even notice. Anyhow, I'll come back to your comments in a second, as soon as I show you the La Leche the photographs, which are coming up. Anyhow, here is Medina Asensio. As you can see, there's construction everywhere, but it's going to look beautiful once it's over. And of course, the La Leche facade itself is also going through some TLC. Let me switch over to that. So they're repainting part of it. Maybe they're applying some subtle censorship. I'm not entirely sure. So this is what the general facade looks like from Medina Asensio. And I am already seeing things. And this, of course, has nothing to do with whether I want to go out and find one and eat it or anything. I'm just saying, just take a look at that. Do you see a penis anywhere? Anyone? I see a penis, but I want to make sure that it's not just me. Please, somebody write that you see a penis, because otherwise I'm going to think I'm going to be this perverted man from hell or something. Anyhow, I see a penis, and I'm going to point out where it is. And it is right, well, that would be the helmet section over there, and it curves down this way. And every time oh, there's another little one. Yippee! It looks like a hand, but it could actually be this little circular thing in the bottom. That looks like it could be, well, never mind. See, the more I stare at this, the more penises I see. Then there's this other photograph. I mean, hello, I see a penis there. I don't know if you see a penis. I see a penis. And if I keep staring at this long enough, I am going to see. Oh, somebody says, es grande. I love it. Thank you very much, Jeannie. I love your appraisal. Oh, excuse me. I'm so glad that you guys are seeing penises. You make my day, because this means that I'm not a penis psychopath or anything. Well, there is a little happy ending to this story. No pun intended. Last night, I love you guys. Oh, I love it. Everybody says penises. I love it. Then spouse here, he just looked and said, cut or uncut. And somebody shared a penis looking something photograph yesterday that I forgot to set up for this morning broadcast. But anyhow, last night after, yesterday I went and did the walking and then came home and did some video editing and some things that I needed to get done for today. And last night I went out to the theater with some friends. We went to Plataforma 322, where the local theater troupe, Grupo de Teatro Dionisio, was presenting their latest version of Divas de Rancho, or Ranch Divas, which is a cabaret show that was absolutely wonderful. I was well attended. It was safe distanced. We had a great time. But we are sitting at Plataforma 322 during the intermission. We're waiting to get back into the theater. And all of a sudden, I turned to my left, and I looked at the wall, and I saw this on the wall. And of course, my friends and I had been talking about the fact that we were going to do this feature today. And we saw this on the wall. And I'm like, oh my God, we are being chased. We're being chased by things that look like other things, or I don't know what it is. It was a strange looking brick, and the shadow of the light made it look like, well, you know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, again, if you have a dirty mind, you are with me. If you don't have a dirty mind, you probably already left. I see there are 127 of you watching this online. So you must be either really bored or really dirty, or maybe you're hungry. I don't know. Now let me take a look at your comments, if I may. I love my Sunday fun days. And I love the fact that you give me the opportunity to sit here and be totally juvenile and silly with you. Anyhow, let's see. Oh my God. Yes, Logan is right. Last night if I was to translate this literally, this would mean last night we tasted the deliciousness of a Galician red whistled, and they were delicious. And this is because the chef, his Facebook name is Pito Rojo, which means red whistle. But that's all it means. We're not talking about anything else. Let's see. There is gutter, humor, and fun stuff. Absolutely, Liz. And I'm going to leave you with a bookmark of a British talk show where they invited parents to send drawings by their kids that were innocent drawings, but they ended up looking not so innocent. And because the whole segment was just priceless, I couldn't chop it up. But I'm going to share this with you so that you can enjoy it on your own. You guys have good comments, and I really appreciate that. In the gutter and laughter is awesome. Absolutely. Good penis Sunday fun day. That's the spirit, Renee. That's the spirit. El nombre es Pepe, not PP. I love it. Great shot glass. You know, I think his name is Jose. He is an older man. I'm not even sure if he's still alive, because he was a very, very humble man living in El Tuito. Patricia Gall, who is a local artist, and she does ceramic workshops in El Tuito. She may actually know about his whereabouts. But if you've ever wanted to do any clay work of your own, Patricia Gall, she has a beautiful art gallery on Basilio Vadillo, and she has a home that she built in El Tuito, because the clay in El Tuito is really wonderful. I remember having a conversation with her many, many years ago, and she says she doesn't have to buy specialized clay from art supply stores. She just uses the natural clay from El Tuito, and it happens to have whatever characteristics she needs to create beautiful sculpture. So you can go and spend a few days with her and learn how to sculpt. But I'm digressing, and I don't mean to. Let's see. Joe remembers La Leche when it was painted white, and it was very bland. Does anyone know what a weenus is? I am afraid to ask. Mark, it is so great to see you, our house Broadway music therapy doctor, because, if we could, Mark Hartman, ladies and gentlemen, he has the best repertoire of Mind in the Gutter songs. Like when he comes back and he starts playing at Encanto, and he's all you have to say, just put your mind in the gutter, Mark, and let your fingers do the talking and let your mouth do the singing, and he is fantastic. In fact, Mark, you should know that a couple of days ago I hung out with our beautiful, lovely mutual friend Guda Gabor. And Guda, who is a wonderful performer, seasonal performer here in Puerto Vallarta, told me that you guys are going to be collaborating. So it'll be a pleasure to know more about the things that you're going to be doing. What are the words for penis in Spanish that we should know? Oh my God, James, there's no time. There's too many of them. But I'm going to tell you my favorite because it's not very well known. Let me write it and put it on the screen. My favorite word for penis these days is this one. Chostomo. Chostomo. I don't even know what it means because I've never taken the time or the trouble to look the word up on the dictionary. But I heard a friend of mine referring to his as his chostomo, and it just sounds too funny. So it's not. I don't think it's vulgar. I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm gonna have to look for it, and I'll get back to you. Do you want a whole list? I can certainly put it together. And Logan says, take out a pen and paper. The list is long. Absolutely. There are two very common ones, verga and chile. Orlando, who's very cute and handsome in his photograph, he says, I'm hilarious. What do you call yours, Orlando? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but we all have nicknames for our little appendages, or not so little anyway. Let's see. I must have been exhausted running that fast. I love it. I love editing the videos. That's what I love. What else do we have? I walked that construction site yesterday to deliver a rollator. It was a little precarious in places. Yes, we can only imagine what it's going to be like when it's finished, Terry. I think it's going to be beautiful. Wasn't La Leche Bogart's in a former life and before that a delicious French restaurant? The answer is yes, Ricky. That whole complex was owned by the late Ignacio Cadena, who was a very well-known local chef. The business was called Bogart's, and then it was become La Petite France, which was Nacho's restaurant. Then one of his sons had also become a chef, and he opened La Leche in Monterrey, in the northern part of the country. And La Leche became a very successful restaurant in Monterrey. They brought the concept here, and this is how we ended up with La Leche. La Leche is a beautiful restaurant. They have an interesting menu. I haven't been there in many, many years because it's just kind of not my scene. But it is a very unique restaurant in a sense that everything inside is white. So visually, it is quite stunning to sit there and see yourself surrounded with just white everything. It's quite lovely. Let's see. Everybody sees penises. You made my day because that means my dirty mind is not alone. Gary remembers a great French restaurant way back when. Absolutely. Of course, Nacho Cadena, the founder, passed away a few months ago. Just as an FYI, in case you're wondering. Let's see. Well, that is the point, my dear. The fact that it's really funny. Ever since I saw the first one, it's impossible to drive by it and not notice them. And I think that's absolutely fun and sweet and just lovely. But that's just me. My cousin Norma asks, what kind of milk do they sell there? Well, let's not get into that. And Jeannie volunteers uncut. I love it. Okay, they're everywhere instead of the birds. I love it. That's a good way to build it. Tengo la mente cochambrosa, says James. That's exactly how to use the expression. I love it. James says, I wasn't expecting this topic today. I'll be honest with you, James. I never know what's going to happen the day before. So these things just sort of happen. Although this week was really interesting because we've been talking about La Leche's penises for a few days. Let's see. Thank you for not saying or desperate. I love it. Well, I see that you have a lot of wonderful comments. Oh my goodness. Mark says he starts on December 26th at Encanto. Mark, it'll be so wonderful to see you back. I just have to say that because your knowledge about music and you folks, I cannot recommend you go listen to Mark Hartman enough. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is something that we agreed on the other day because we said when we talk about local entertainment or things that are going on in performance venues, we said we are going to talk about them because we have a good reason why you should attend. Mark Hartman, if we haven't said this before, is number one, he's a very accomplished piano player. He can read the chords for just about every song that you put in front of him. He's a walking encyclopedia about Broadway music, about cabaret songs and cabaret performers. He has very well-founded opinions about why some music is worthwhile and some music is not. He is interesting, charming, and funny, and he's an encyclopedia. So if you go and enjoy him, or if you strike a conversation with him, you have no idea what kind of deep rabbit hole you're going to end up going into. So I shamelessly recommend him when he's performing or whatever project Mark Hartman is involved in. Shameless love. There you go. And no, Mark, I'm not trying to have sex with you. Let's see, what else do we find? No me chostomes. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. Chostomos is a delicious burrito place in Cabo. I love it. And you see, I need to go back and look at the meaning of that word. Panchito, says Tapia. I love it. James, seriously, you're going to frighten all those butterflies. You're going to frighten the monarch butterflies with your own anaconda. I love it. Oh, is that what the meaning is? Chostomo, male reproductive organ defined in a pejorative way. Is pejorative a word in English? I think it is. Interesting. Let's see what else we have. Uh, wasn't El Chapo's son taken from there? Yes, that is correct. You see, Nacho Cadena, the former chef and founder of La Leche, had interesting friends and interesting people that he worked with. And not much about his work was known outside of his realm of being a chef. And yes, El Chapo's son was picked up from his restaurant, and it was a very scandalous kind of affair when it happened. But you know, it's one of those things that happens when you live in a country where there are narco people and their families living everywhere. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I'm just being nice, Mark, because I need another therapy session. Now we need to talk about Godspell. Um, oh, yeah, because we've talked about Fiddler in the Roof. I told Mark that I have problems with Fiddler in the Roof. I'm afraid of it. And now I'm afraid of Godspell. And we'll have to talk about Godspell at some point. What about a chostomo cochambroso? That would be a dirty one. I don't know that you want to get involved with a dirty one, James. I seriously suggest that you make sure that if you're going to mingle with chostomos, that they're healthy and clean and, you know, safety guidelines. We know what we need to do. Anyhow, I'm starting to ramble. Does anybody have any important or unimportant question that has nothing to do with real news? Just put it on the screen now because we're starting to say goodbye. What is sweet and lovely is being able to tune in to see your show and it being upbeat and light in such a heavy world right now. Sunday Fundays are always a blast. Well, we try our damnedest. We try our damnedest. I think we all need a little bit of a balance between everything that's going on. And, Alan calls his memory. Oh, chorizo con papas. That you guys are filthy. I love it. Thank you very much. You have great names for your penises and your things. Edgar Sanchez is in the house. He is one of the divas de rancho that we went to see last night. You guys were hysterical. You know Edgar because he is the gerente. He's the manager of Seasons PV, the beautiful restaurant that is in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. And you see him there taking orders and so forth and so on. And he's just like totally very mellow and well behaved. But then he transformed into this persona called Miss Bibi. And Miss Bibi is absolutely phenomenal. You guys were very, very funny. All I can say for this English speaking community is if you could take a pill and understand Spanish for the next 45 minutes or 90 minutes, then you would absolutely enjoy this local troupe of artists and actors and singers and dancers who have full-time jobs and who have a huge anxiety and desire to perform and have been itching to get on a stage during the pandemic. And it is just so nice to see that while we're busy looking at how good or how not good are the entertainers that come and join us from elsewhere, there are very talented people here in performing and creating work in Spanish. My wish for this community is that we all find a way to stretch our knowledge of the language and stretch our desire to know the local culture, especially local art culture, to enjoy more of these performances. Anyhow, I'm rambling. I see one question here. What's fun to do on a Sunday afternoon for a gay couple? If I was partnered on a day like today, I would want to go walking because the weather is suitable for it. I would not want to go walking in the city per se. I would want to go, you know what I would do? I would take a beach walk. I would take a beach walk starting at Los Muertos and then walking south along the beach. You can go up and down some rock formations and whatnot, and then you end up at the other end of Conchas Chinas Beach. You can even walk as far as Lindomar, so you can come out of your walk through the Lindomar restaurant and maybe have a Diet Coke or a beer or something refreshing, a glass of water, whatever floats your boat, and then just call an Uber and come back. That's what I would do if I wanted to have a fun thing for the afternoon. Of course, if you haven't had brunch yet, Hotel Mercurio has the drag brunch this afternoon, so that might be fun for a gay couple as well. So let's see. Any other questions? No, I don't see any more questions. So I think this is a good. Oh, look, some love for Seasons. Love Seasons. I stay right above there and have my coffee each morning and watch them set up their patio. That is so wonderful. Anyhow, this is the end of today's show. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope your mind, your guttery mind, got a little bit of a workout. As you know, this is what we do. If this was your first time here, please don't take us seriously. Tomorrow we'll be back on a different tone. But tomorrow, of course, is COVID Monday, and we're going to take a look at all the different things that our governor has to share with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ed. And thank you, Norma, my dear cousin that joins me. I love it. I love it very much. Thank you for laughing with me. And thank you for being part of this community. This means a lot to me. And the more I talk to people here living in Puerto Vallarta at how we're redefining friendships, we're redefining our parameters of what is important in life today. What kind of human interaction do we hope to seek to enrich our lives? There's a lot of people in transition, and there are a lot of great opportunities nowadays to reflect on what's really important and what is not. I personally am happy to say that I'm having a great time evaluating my priorities and my friendships and celebrating them. That's really important to me, and I hope it's important to you. So today, if I may offer a suggestion, pick one friend in your list. Pick one special person that you know and love, and just tell them something nice. They may or may not even notice it, but I'm sure you'll feel a lot better after you've done so. Have a great Sunday, and I will see you again hopefully tomorrow, and if not, sometime in the near future. Stay happy, stay laughing, stay kind, and stay in touch.